wait.
Oh, here he is.
See, there we go.
Another camera.
You got it. Right on back.
Thank you all, y'all. So you know how to wait.
Hey, Perry, it's good to see you.
No, I'm only joking with you. All right. Yeah. Was it talking to you? He was talking to you. Turn around the other way.
Well, now that's not a.
Take some tissue.
Because if you talk about you like, what is this? Why does it say harmless? They hold, they'll have held harmless for 50% of the loss. That's good. Which one?
Two. Did you take off two? Oh, you didn't? I'm sorry. Oh, well, we need to vote on that then, because I took it off, I think.
No, 2N.
Oh. 2N.
Yeah, item 2N, like in November.
You got
Oh, wait a minute.
10,
I'm
4,
sorry.
5, and 6. You're good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, let's vote on 2 then, because I messed up.
Was that pulled off?
I think I did. I just want to make the record straight. And just in case, because I thought, and Commissioner Keith, when he did that, I thought I said 2, 4, 5, and 6, and I think that's what I said. But he was not pulling item 2 off the consent agenda, so I would ask for a motion under N, number 2, we'd make a motion, if I can get a motion to approve that, because he did not pull that off, but I think I
Motion to
did
approve.
when I was in it.
Motion to approve.
If I can get a second.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second as to item 2N. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
All right. We'll go to item,
Wait,
excuse me, I'm sorry.
don't we have to then go back and approve item 2 that you,
I just did item number 2.
4, 5, and 6. 4, 5.
Now we're going to 4, 5, and 6 that Jimmy pulled. He didn't pull number 2, but I think I inadvertently said that when I was doing that. And that's why he said in like November, but I wouldn't, my ears messed up. I've been down at the beach all day. Under N, item number 4, Commissioner Keith.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I pulled these items because over the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of discussion about the needs that came up with our fund balance. And in fact, we almost saw a $6 million swing in fund balance. Now, these items here will all be coming directly out of fund balance. I'm not sure if they've already been accounted for, or these will be in addition to the $460,000 that we saw as a deficit in fund balance. So, Madam Manager?
Commissioner Keefe, I'd call our finance director, Ms. Evans, to the podium, please.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So the note that it requires the use of fund balance, what these increases are based on projections of final collections of sales tax for number 4, final collections for ad valorem tax for number 5.
And Mrs. Evans, I believe that this is incorrectly stated on the agenda. Instead of it being fund balance, it should be current year revenue. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Current, what now?
Current year revenue.
Okay. So we can, okay.
Is that all of them?
All 3 of them.
All three of
Number
them?
6 is not. Number 6 is fund balance.
Okay. Is that in addition to the previously stated deficit and fund balance that you gave last week, or is this included in that amount?
This would be in addition to
Okay, so
127,000 projected.
can you explain what that is?
Okay, so since we are going to be contracting out the jail health services, the employees that are in there are going to be ripped. And so this is the projection of paying out their annual leave. And the reason that we need it is because we don't budget for annual leave payouts. We budget for salaries for the year. And so there aren't enough funds within this organization to handle the additional cost of annual leave payout.
But wouldn't it have been more? Thank you.
And this is just a one-time payout, it's not a recurring expense?
Correct.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I concur with Mr. Keefe. I was about to pull it myself because the three of them, before you made the correction that two of them were not fund balance, I was thinking about pulling it also because the three of them totaled up $1.1 million, and that's a 0.5% on the tax rate. You know, and then we couldn't get any budge on fund balance the other night when we were trying to appropriate some of it because we didn't have any. But anyway, since it's an error and you've corrected the error, then, hey, I guess I have to live with it.
Thank you.
But anyway, I concur with Mr. Keith that it certainly pointed out a potential revenue source to me.
Right, if it had been
Understand.
fund balance, but.
Right,
So,
understand.
thank you for catching that. Thank you, Mr. Keefe, for catching that for us. If I can get a motion on 4, 5, and 6,
Motion to approve?
if I get a second.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Voting in favor, Commissioners Evans, Chairman Adams, Commissioners Council, Commissioner Lancaster. Voting in opposition, Commissioners Faircloth, Commissioner Keefe, Commissioner Booth, your vote? Opposed. Thank you.
Motion carries. Public hearings. I will call on the county manager to explain the Board of Commissioners procedure for public hearings.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For our zoning hearings, arguments by the proponents and opponents shall be limited to a maximum of 10 minutes for each side. If there is no group representative, each speaker shall be allotted a maximum of 3 minutes until the 10-minute time limit is attained. Rebuttals will only be permitted at the discretion of the chairman with a maximum of 1 3-minute presentation by each side.
And we've got an uncontested rezoning case. Call on Mr. Tom Lord.
Yes, sir. The first case is rezoning of 8 acres from A1 to R40CZ. It was originally brought in and advertised as 2R40, but the applicant worked with the staff in cutting down the number of curb cuts, and that's what threw it into conditional zoning. And it was approved unanimously by the planning board, and I don't believe there's any opposition tonight.
Open the public hearing.
There are no speakers.
I will close the public hearing. Commissioners, are there any questions or comments for Mr. Lord? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I'll do the first one. In the case of P17-12, move to find the request for rezoning consistent with the 2030 Growth Vision Plan and any other applicable land use plan reasonable and in the public interest for the reasons stated in the recommendations of the planning staff as fully reflected in the minutes of the planning board meeting, which are incorporated herein by reference.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All those in favor?
Commissioner Booth? Aye. Unanimous.
I call on Commissioner Council.
In the case of P 17-12, I move to approve the rezoning for the R40 residential / CZ conditional zoning for an 8-lot subdivision subject to the ordinance-related conditions for the reasons stated in the recommendations of the planning staff and is fully reflected in the minutes of the planning board meeting, which are incorporated herein by reference.
I can get a second.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Commissioner Booth? Aye. Thank you. The vote is unanimous.
I'd recognize Mr. Lloyd for the case P-1715, which was deferred from the May 15th, 2017 board meeting.
Yes, sir, that was a request that be deferred as the attorney representative for the petitioner was out of town, but it was recommended approval by the planning board, A1 to R40 and R40A. The R40A is where there is an existing double-wide manufactured home on the property. There was no opposition, I believe, tonight. The planning board passed it unanimously.
I'll open the public hearing.
There are no speakers.
I will close the public hearing. Call on Commissioner Evans.
I move to find, in the case of P-17-15, move to find the request for rezoning consistent with the 2030 Gross Vision Plan and any other applicable land use plan, reasonable and in the public interest for the reasons stated in the recommendations of the planning staff and is fully reflected in the minutes of the planning board meeting, which are incorporated herein by reference.
If I can get a second to that. It's been moved and second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Commissioner Booth, please.
I vote in opposition, no.
Okay, voting in favor, Commissioners Faircloth, Keefe, Evans, Chairman Adams, Commissioner Council, and Commissioner Lancaster. Voting in opposition, Commissioner Booth.
And if I can get the second motion.
For case P-17-15, move to approve the request for R40 and R40A residential zoning for the reasons stated in the recommendation of the planning staff and that's fully reflected in the minutes of the planning board meeting, which are incorporated herein by reference.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Commissioner Booth, please.
In opposition, no.
Okay, voting in favor, Commissioners Faircloth, Commissioner Keefe, Commissioner Evans, Chairman Adams, Commissioner Council, and Commissioner Lancaster. Voting in opposition, Commissioner Booth.
Thank you, Mr. Lloyd. We have our other public hearing on the proposed finance, and I call on County Manager, Ms. Cannon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would ask our Finance Director, Mrs. Evans, to come forward and present this item.
At the June 5th Board of Commissioners meeting, a resolution which authorized the filing of an application with the Local Government Commission and certain findings of fact that are required under General Statute 159-151 was approved. Authorization was also given to publish a notice for the public hearing to be held this evening on the proposed installment financing contract. As a reminder, total interest savings on the refunding are projected to be at least $1.5 million over the life of the debt. As mentioned in the resolution being presented this evening, the aggregate principal amount is not to exceed $25 million, with a true interest cost not to exceed 3.5%, not 0.75%, which was a typo in the memo, I'm sorry. The final maturity will not extend beyond December 31st, 2028. This refunding will go forward for approval to the LGC meeting being held on July 11th. This evening, we are requesting you to first hold the public hearing and then 2, adopt the resolution that was within your agenda packet concerning the final approval of the issuance of bonds to refund the 2009A certificates of participation and the 2011B limited obligation bonds, and authorize execution and delivery of the documents by staff to finalize the transaction.
I'll open the public hearing.
There are no speakers.
I will close the public hearing. Are there any questions from any commissioners? If not, I would entertain a motion as to the issuance of the bonds to refund the 2009A certificate of participations and the 2011B limited obligation bonds, and authorize the execution and delivery of the documents necessary to finalize this transaction.
Second. Is that a motion?
Well, I was just reading it. Whoever wants to make the motion.
I move that we adopt the resolution concerning final approval of the issuance of bonds to refund the 2009A certificates of participations and 2011B LOBs and authorize the execution and delivery of the documents necessary to finalize the transaction.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Commissioner Booth, please.
In favor, yes.
Voting in favor are all, so it's unanimous.
Thank you, Ms. Vicky, very much. We'll go then to items of business. Number 4, consideration of the approval of the FY 2018 Cumberland County Budget Ordinance. My manager, Ms. Cannon, our manager.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to ask our Assistant County Manager, Ms. Cardinale, to present the budget ordinance for approval this evening.
Thank you, Commissioners. Before you this evening is the FY18 budget ordinance that reflects the tax rate of 79.9 cents as adopted by the Board on June 13th. Included in the ordinance documents are the revenue, expenditures, departmental fees, and adjustments to the recommended budget. The adjustments reflect changes made by the Board to the recommended budget and any housekeeping items that arose after the recommended budget was presented. The budget ordinance reflects a total general fund budget of $323,622,861. Management is recommending approval of the FY18 budget ordinance as presented tonight.
Any questions, comments? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second for the approval of the FY 28 Cumberland County Budget Ordinance. All those in favor?
Commissioner Booth, please.
Opposed, no.
Okay, voting in favor, if I may see your hands, Commissioners Evans, Chairman Adams, Commissioner Council, and Commissioner Lancaster. Voting in opposition, Commissioner Faircloth, Commissioner Keefe, and Commissioner Booth.
We'll go to, and just for the record, number 5 was pulled, which was consideration of a request to authorize up to $50,000 in emergency funding for the town of Stedman. I know they would have saw that in the paper and it was on the agenda, so just like to make mention that we received a call from the mayor of Stedman who said that their town hall was insured completely and that they did not need these funds and that they were actually back in the town hall building doing business. I was out there shortly when the tree fell on the town hall, and they did an excellent job out there. He also wanted to thank county staff for what they did in terms of coming out and being available to them. Thank you to the manager and all of those employees who went out. Thank you so very much. Number 6, consideration of the designation of a voting delegate to the National Association of Counties Annual Conference. Call on Commissioner Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to nominate our chairman, Commissioner Glenn Adams.
Can I get a second?
I move that nominations be closed.
All right. All right. Then, any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Voting in favor, it's unanimous.
Thank you. And I will call on a motion for an alternate voting delegate. Who's, Marshall, are you going to the national conference? He's the former, he's the past chair. So you can nominate Marshall.
I nominate Mr. Marshall Faircloth.
A second.
All those in favor?
Commissioner Booth, it is unanimous. Thank you.
There are no nominations for this particular meeting. I will call on Commissioner Evans for appointment to boards and commission of the first one, which is the Adult Care Home Community Advisory. If you do that one first, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Being that there are equal number of vacancies and nominees for items 8A, 8C, 8D, 8E, and 8F, I hereby move that those nominees be appointed to their respective positions.
Second.
Okay. All of those in favor?
Commissioner Booth, it is unanimous. Thank you.
And for the Fayetteville Technical Community College Board of Trustees, there are 2 nominees for 1 appointment, so I'll take these in order as they come. All of those who would vote for Susanna Tucker, please raise your hand.
That is Commissioner Evans, Chairman Adams, Commissioner Council, and Commissioner Lancaster. Commissioner Booth?
Okay, we'll just,
No, voting for Hutchins.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
And those who would vote for Hilton Terry Hutchins Jr.
Voting for Mr. Hutchins, Commissioners Faircloth, Commissioner Booth?
Yes.
Thank you. That's 3.
So it would be
Commissioner Keith, thank you.
Susanna Tucker, who has 4 votes, would be the appointment to the Fayetteville Technical Community College Board. And that brings us to pretty much near the end of our agenda. So it's Aaron Harris and Rebecca Mitchell's time. If you would come to the podium and give us a little information about yourself and how you enjoyed the meeting or what you learned from the meeting, or what we could do a little bit different sometimes. So either one, which one wants to go first? All right, Miss Rebecca. And I think your father's here, isn't he? Yes. Stand up so we can make sure that he's here and recognized. Thank you for bringing her and being right there for her on this behalf. Thank you.
That's my number 1 fan right there.
I'm number 2, huh? Or number 3 down the line a little bit.
So I really enjoy this meeting. I like how everything's run. I like how if something's not run correctly, you guys correct it, and so make sure that everything's, following Robert's Rule of Order and everything like that. And so I can take that as chair. We're going to definitely implement that system into the youth council, both on the city level and the state level.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Aaron?
All right.
Like as Rebecca was saying, I admire you guys following the Robert's Rules of Order, because as the new FCYC Sergeant at Arms,
okay.
I'm learning about that, and I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you both for coming, and thank my youth council. See, they stayed with you, stayed throughout the meeting. Thank you all so very much. It's so very important for you all to be a part of government and being active in this community. So thank you all. We don't take that for granted. If there is no further business, I will call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. All in favor?
That is unanimous. Thank you all.
We are adjourned.